So once again, good afternoon from Halifax. It's time for the weekly weekend preview, and this week it's another solo edition, so bear with me a little bit. And we're going to go to Haydock Park for tomorrow's 4 ITV races, which kick off at 2:15 with a middle distance handicap. And it's a small but select field here. It's competitive though. 6 runners heading to post, and you'd say on the prices all 6 have a chance this afternoon. Looking at the market this afternoon, and it's actually the horse at the bottom of the weight, Jack Regan, who's top on Timeform ratings, setting the standard and receiving weight from the field here, and generally ran a solid race at this level last time out. Perhaps needs a bigger field to be seen to best effect, but is an interesting type. Emmaus is interesting as well. He's having his first run in handicap company tomorrow. 2 promising runs either side of a blip. Looks to be on a reasonable mark. He's a reasonably interesting runner. It was a solid run last time behind an exciting one, but the one I'm going to go for in this race is even the Mark Johnston runner. Different proposition last time out in handicap company at Nottingham, and fancy her to follow up under a £6 penalty. So Sea of Umzane in the first under Sylvester de Souza. So on to the second race, the Pinnacle Stakes, a Group 3 fillies and mares contest, and another tight field here, 9 heading to post at the moment. And it's an interesting race. There's some decent horses have won this in the last couple of years. Journey used it as a bit of a maintenance race a couple of years ago. Batil, a smart type, won it last season as well. And of the 9 runners, the one who very much sets the standard here is God Given, the Nathaniel filly. She's top on Timeform ratings and is a half sister to Postponed, and she's been really progressive last term. She'd be a lot sharper for her reappearance last time. Was 4th at Ascot in a listed race, and very much sets the standard. Is 2-1 at the moment. I imagine that she'll be shorter, and she's got every chance of winning. But the one who I think might be worth a go here at each way, looking at the market, is TT McPhee, one who I've got very much a soft spot for. She's 8-1 at the minute, and is just a really likeable type. Generally makes the running from the front. It's a typical Mark Johnston runner that she wears her heart on her sleeve, and she has been admittedly a notch below her best form so far this term, but for all that she has been running well enough. She just went down fighting at Ayr last time out, and at around the 8-1 mark it might be worth chancing that she can run a blinder from the front and dictate matters under Richard Kingscote. So in the second race I go with TT McPhee each way, but God Given has every chance. Race number 3 is the Achilles Stakes at 3:25. I looked at the recent winners for this race, and a horse called Odyssey hasn't won, so that's just thoroughly unimpressive. But 10 head to post this time around, none called Odyssey. And top on Timeform ratings here is Muthmere, who is the class act. He's the immediate eye catcher when you look at this field. For all that he is an 8-year-old now, and his last 2 runs so far this season have been below par for what he showed last term. He sort of is a difficult horse to place. He had a winless season in 2016. He was more productive last term and would be a threat if he came here in his best form. But he came 5th in the Temple Stakes 2 weeks ago, which looks good on first sight, but on Timeform ratings it is a notch below what he is capable of. So he would be an interesting proposition if turning up here in good nick, but I would be inclined to take him on. He's 5-2 at the moment, and I'd look elsewhere. Final Venture's interesting, won this last year. Has been kept busy as well, 3 runs so far this season, and ran a corker in a handicap at York last time out. He's bound to be really sharp for that and is likely to put in a bold bid. But the one I'm going to go for is Judicial. Fancy him to win this. He's had 2 runs at this level in the past. They've both been really solid, and he actually ran very well at a level higher last time out at Newmarket on his reappearance. It was a corking race, finished 3rd that day, and I think a race of this nature is within his grasp. He was steadily progressive last season, and I fancy him to win this race. So the Achilles Stakes, fancy Judicial. And last but not least, on to the John of Gaunt Stakes. Now there is a full preview on timeform.com for this race, written with a dreadful pun, I must add. And this year's renewal, 8 are heading to post, and there's a sort of contrast of runners in here, because you've sort of got different profiles in that we've got 2 very much on the up in Emmaus and Tabarak, and then 1 in Dutch Connection as well, who is dropping into this level. And we'll start with the progressive sorts, and there's 4 in the market at the moment that look to be the ones to concentrate on, and they are probably the ones on Timeform ratings as well. Starting with Emmaus, who is the most unexposed runner in the field, the only one with a Timeform P, which means he's open to improvement, up to about £7 or so. And he's interesting, he's very lightly raced for his age. He's only a 4-year-old and has raced 4 times so far. 3 of those have come at Leicester, and all 3 have been wins as well. One at listed level. His only defeat coming at Deauville as a 2-year-old, and looks a group performer in the making really. Won a handicap at the end of last season as a 3-year-old at Leicester. Came back and won again at listed level at Leicester again last time out, beating a race-fit rival in Donjon Triumphant, who was entered here but isn't going to take his chance, and has plenty of chance here. I think he's a really likeable type, and it leads me on nicely with him being a 4-year-old to another 4-year-old in Dubai, who is similar in age but not in experience, because this one has had 16 starts so far in his career, and he ended last season on a disappointing note really, but has been kept busy, had a really productive winter in Dubai, and was better than ever last time out when second at listed level at Windsor too. So he has claims, and is actually Timeform top rated as well. He's a pound clear of Tabarak, who is another one on the up at the moment. Course form, interestingly, is at a premium in this race as well. He does have a win to his record, won a listed contest here last time out. You'd fancy him to hold his own in this company. He's had a couple of starts at Group 3 level, always has done, and deserves another crack. But the one who stands out like a sore thumb for me is Dutch Connection. Very much a performer at a higher level than this. And what I think is really interesting about him is that he has generally been running at Group 1 and Group 2 level consistently for the past few seasons, and twice he's dropped down to Group 3 level, and he's won twice, once at Goodwood, once in the Jersey Stakes at Royal Ascot. And I think he appeals to me as the class act. Earlier in the week he was about 4-1. I've seen he's been backed into favouritism. It's not a surprise for me, and if I had to pick out a bet for the weekend, I think it would be Dutch Connection. I fancy him to score. So that's a very quick roundup of the racing at Haydock.